So today we're going to kind of ease into things, and I just wanted to kind of get our skills built back up as far as drawing nice, neat lines and coloring inside those lines and not coloring outside the lines, getting out of them, and also filling all of this space. So you can tell the markers I've been using for this example were kind of running out. So hopefully I've picked some other markers today that are really nice and juicy and full of color. Now you don't have to use markers. You can use whatever you have at home. You can even use mixed media. So if you want to do a couple spaces with crayon and a couple spaces with marker, maybe throw in some watercolor or oil pastel or colored pencil, whatever you have, that would be kind of fun. So I'm going to show you how I created this. Let me get a new piece of paper out here. So what I did is I just wanted to have these lines. Actually, for me, I divided it up in half. So this is 12 inches. So I found my 6-inch side, and I'm going to find the 6-inch mark on this side too, because I find 6 because for me, 6 is half of 12. So if you don't have a 9x12 paper, it may just be that you, or a ruler, quite honestly, it may just be that it's easiest for you to fold it in half. That would work as well. You will want some kind of straight edge, whether it's a ruler or not. You could even use like the side of a book or a magazine or something. So you may not be able to measure, but you could at least use the straight edge of that to draw your lines, whichever you have available. So again, if you can measure wherever the middle of your paper is, so for me it was 6 inches because my paper is 12 inches long on this side. That's great. If you don't have a ruler where you can measure, just fold it in half. So I'm going to fold this side in half. This side of my paper is actually 9 inches. So what I would do is I would find 4.5 with my ruler, which would get me right in the middle. So it's hard to see. I know you can't read my ruler from here, but this says 4.5 right there. So now that I've kind of folded and I've got that line down where the middle is, I'm going to divide my paper up. This is the very first step, okay? So you can see on this example, I've got this line here going vertically, and then I've got a line right in the middle going horizontally. So the next step is I'm going to use a ruler or a straight edge, whatever you have available. Again, it's up to you. And I like to make mine not perfect. If you want to make yours perfect and do a perfect square inside of a square inside of a square, that's fun too. I like to just kind of make it up. So I'm going to do mine a little crooked over here. And instead of coming straight down, I'm going to curve it in just a little bit. The idea is these lines that we're making are not going to crisscross. So I don't want the next set of lines that I make to overlap these lines, okay? So far I've created this big squared shape on the outside, and now I'm going to do it again a couple more times, but I don't want them to overlap. So this shape does not overlap this shape. None of them do. So I'm going to get inside, and this time I'm going to go here. Again, I'm not measuring anything. I'm just kind of having a little bit of fun with it. And I want to use the straightness of my ruler while I'm doing this. In fact, I'm going to come back this way just a little bit. I'm going to erase this extra part right here. That's why we do it in pencil first, so we can erase these things. So again, this inner shape did not overlap the outer shape. I'm going to do it again, maybe 2 more times. And I like, again, to do mine kind of at a diagonal slightly, just for fun. You can make yours perfectly square if that's what you want to do. I'm going to do it 1 more time. All right. All right, so that's what I've come up with. So now the idea is we've created these different spaces. So again, the idea of this project is I want you to draw and color in these nice, neat lines. So no sloppy lines that you just kind of randomly drew with a pencil really quick. That's not what we're looking for. And when you color them in, I want to see nice, neat, solid colors. So for me, and I always tell you guys this, when I add color to something, no matter what I'm using, if it's a marker or a crayon or a colored pencil, I really like to outline first. And that's so that I get all of my color all the way to the edge. I think a lot of times when we color, we just get kind of close to the edge, but we don't get all the way to the edge because we're afraid we'll get out of the lines. But if you put a nice good border in there, then you know where it is and you don't have to worry about getting out of it. So use whatever colors you like. I'm just kind of reaching into my basket, pulling out a color. Use whatever colors you like. You do not have to do like a warm or cool pattern. You don't have to do primary or secondary colors. You can use whatever colors you like. You can repeat colors, like just pick maybe 4 colors and kind of rotate them. It is up to you. Again, what I'm looking for from this project is to see you guys color nice and neat and get it all the way colored in with no white showing. So if you look at this example when I'm done, or if you look at my finished example that I already have, you'll notice I have no white showing whatsoever. And this is actually a light green. I know it might look like white in the lighting in here, but it's like that mint green. And my markers were kind of, they were kind of running out on me. So I really had to work to get those colored in. But that's all we're doing today is just keeping up with, I guess, hand-eye coordination in a way, trying to follow along with those lines and make sure that we've taken our time and gone really slow and not colored in anything sloppily. So when I say, sloppily, I mean this, where you get most of the space filled, but you didn't get quite to the edges. Even this, it's just kind of all over the place, and it's okay, but what's going to make it really nice is if you get your color to the edge and you make sure that any little bits of white are all colored in. I talked to you guys about this quite a bit because it really is a skill that takes some practice. Just going slow, I think sometimes we get in a hurry and we just want to check something off of our list and be done with it. But really, this you have to go slow. Maybe put something on, some music on while you're drawing. And sometimes that slows you down or just kind of gives you something else to focus on while you're working. So that was way better now. So I'm going to pause it, and then when I unpause it, you're going to see my finished piece. All right, so here is my finished piece. I'm looking at it, and I'm going to shut the lights out because there's a glare. So hopefully you can see that a little bit better now. Yeah. I actually used purple, but in the light, the way that it is, it looks like a light blue and a dark blue, but this is actually purple. So it's so funny how, I don't know, maybe your cameras don't show this quite as bad as mine, but I did a pattern. So you don't have to do that. You can mix and match your colors however you want. On this one, it was completely random. I barely used any colors twice. I did, but I definitely didn't use all of my colors twice. And I just made sure that the same color was never touching each other. So this purple, it touches in the corner, but not like lined up. It wouldn't have gone all the way across here this way. This orange, I used it twice, but again, not right next to each other. They have several spaces in between. So I did the same thing on this project. I used purple, green, blue, pink, and orange. And what I did, I picked 5 colors because I realized in each little section, I had 5 spaces. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I thought I could do that in each sort of quadrant. And I just made sure that I never had orange lined up next to another orange. I just made sure that it wasn't next to each other in the quadrant or in the quadrant touching. So you don't have to do that, but I did create a pattern with mine just in case you want to kind of take it that extra step and do it that way. You are more than welcome. But again, this project is all about nice, clean, straight lines. So I would use a straight edge, whether you do some kind of squared pattern like I did, or whether you could do circles. You could make it nice and straight where you're measuring out and you don't have kind of these odd angles. Totally up to you. But I want straight lines, and I also want nice, neat spaces colored in. So no white showing and no coloring outside the lines. That's what we're going for.